Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today, we're looking at a ship that I have had in my account for ever and ever, and I've just never gotten around to really reviewing this one, I think. This is the USS Texas. And the reason we're looking at the Texas today is because I came across some accounts about the very, very long and active history of the Texas. This thing was built in 1912, so before the First World War. So this is a dreadnought class battleship, and she was serving in the First World War. She was the first battleship to receive, I'm not sure if it's the first battleship ever or just the first American battleship, but the first battleship to receive anti-aircraft guns. Because back at the time, nobody was thinking yet that aircraft would pose an actual credible threat towards ships. So she was one of the first ones to actually get that. There are a lot of firsts with the Texas. During the First World War, just a couple of shore bombardments and convoy duty. But during the Second World War, she was actually part of the D-Day landings. So the landings in the Normandy, where the Americans and the British were trying to dislodge the Germans. And at some point, she was part of the shore bombardment fleet. And at some point, it looked like at Omaha Beach, if you ever seen Saving Private Ryan, that's the beach where everything happened in the beginning. So on Omaha Beach, it looked for a while that things might go south and that they actually couldn't land because the resistance from the Germans there was just so strong. So Texas actually sailed under 3 kilometers from the water edge without beaching herself, and put her guns down to zero elevation and started taking things like sniper nests and machine gun positions under direct fire with her main guns. That must have been absolutely terrifying. But thanks to Texas's bombardment and the bombardment from other ships as well, and the efforts from the soldiers on the beach, they were able to break through and make their way through the Normandy, and that's how D-Day became a success. So definitely a very, very important part that she played there. Then later on, after they had broken through the initial defenses and they were getting further inland, Texas couldn't actually reach anymore with supporting fire because, they were starting to outrun her gun range. Now, Texas had a spotter plane because she was also the first American battleship ever to have a spotter plane, because So the reason they had spotter planes was because you have to actually, so if you're shooting, you're doing ranging shots, and these shots will either hit, which is very unlikely at the beginning, or they will land either short or long or forward and rear of the actual target. So you'd have somebody on the ship who was spotting and who was reporting, and that's when they made the respective adjustments, because that was all before they had radars and anything for like that. So they had the idea to put a biplane onto one of these things, in this case the Texas. And Texas would actually launch that biplane and have the pilot in the plane do the spotting as to where the shots were landing. So that was something that really helped them during the fire support missions further inland. And then at some point, they flooded one of the torpedo blisters on the Texas just to give her a list. Because if you tilt it over a little bit, you could actually extend the range with the guns that way. So they managed to extend the range such that she, with the help of the spotter plane, she could still lend supporting fire to the troops further inland. And that's just really badass, I think. So after the war, the Texas became a museum ship. And she is the only dreadnought class battleship in the world that is still existing today. The only older one is the Mikasa, who sits in Tokyo, but she's a pre-dreadnought. So Texas is in Texas and is a museum ship. And last I heard, they've gone through a lot of work to renovate, because she was in a very bad shape. Her decks had to be replaced with concrete because the wooden decks were done for, and she was leaking in several places and rusting pretty badly. But last I heard, they plan to actually have her supported not inside the water, but actually outside the water. And apparently the structure is still strong enough after over 100 years that she could do that. So if I ever make my way over there, that's definitely on my list to see, because that one must be an absolutely amazing sight. Now, getting back to the ship actually in the game. Tier 5 battleship, and it's a New York class. So the actual USS New York is in the game. The Texas is very, very similar as a premium. She also does get the rapid reload, which I think we don't get on the New York quite yet at this point. No, we also get that. Okay, so she is very, very similar to the New York. She gets a little better damage reduction, so she's a bit tankier, and from terms of maneuverability, it's not a great difference. One big difference, and probably really one of the two biggest differences between the New York and the Texas, is that the Texas here in the game is the 1942 upgrade, where they removed most of the secondaries in order to get more anti-aircraft guns on this thing. So she only gets 6 single-mounted secondaries, so 3 on each side, whereas the New York has 16, so 8 on each side. Other than that, they're the same. And the Texas gets, for a Tier 5 battleship, actually a really, really decent anti-air with 239 on the small caliber. So she's got mostly, she had mostly, 1.1 inch. So that would be like, 30 millimeter probably. And then later 40 millimeter pom-poms and other like smaller caliber weapons. The range, of course, is on the small cals is not great for the AA, but still, for a Tier 5 battleship, she can actually defend herself somewhat against aircraft. Now, when it comes to camouflages, you have 2 choices. You have the historical camouflage, which gives you hit points, range, and dispersion, which is really, really good. Or you can get the Lone Star. Now, I really like the looks of the Lone Star camo. I'm not usually someone who likes non-historical camos, but this one's actually really pretty. The problem I have is that actually increases the traverse speed. Not decreases, increases. It makes her turn harder. It's actually quite significant. So that's really not something you necessarily want. In return, it increases the AA range a little bit, which is a good thing because you can't get modules to do that at this tier. But I don't know. That's a price to pay. So I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's intended, but it makes her more of an AA platform, really. It makes her a bit more stationary. So I'm gonna go with the historical camo here. And just to honor this amazing ship and her amazing history, we'll max this one out. So equipment-wise, I've got the main battery mod 1 because, well, she does get a 23-second reload. So you could go with the mod 2 to shave that off a bit. But her turrets only have a 4 degree per second turret rotation, I think, in the base, which is absolutely dreadful. So even with that, you only get to 4.8 degrees. Otherwise, she completely outturns her turrets. So that's usually that's actually a good choice here. I have put her onto propulsion. You could definitely go with another steering or with the damage control to have her take fires a little bit less. And the third slot is steering gear mode 2. With that, she's actually quite maneuverable. See, we do get a 10.7 second turn time. That's not terrible. And the guns, 23 second reload, but we do get the rapid reload skill. So for our commander here, we're going to have standard setup in the first tiers. We get an additional rapid reload here, and we get the master reloader, obviously. Now APCS makes most sense with the battleship. And I've actually gone with the Citadel Strike to get additional Citadel damage. Additionally, alternatively, you could have gone with Horizontal Protection. I haven't played around with the tier level 12 skills very much, so I don't think it matters for tier 5. But yeah, we've got her maxed out and set up. So let's see how she plays. We're in straight for a change, and we're top tier. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 battleships, a Kuma, and 2 destroyers. So again, it's early on. The leagues don't really tell us much. We don't know if these are great players or if these are new players, so well, you got to be a little bit more careful at the beginning of the month, because you don't really know who you're going to encounter. Alright, switching over to the high explosive, because I am fully expecting one of the destroyers to show up over in A-Cup. And then we'll get going and support that Clemson over there. And we'll see what we can do. Now, Tier 5, you only get 6 minutes games. And in a ship as slow as this, you actually have to position a little bit. That's why I'm putting my guns to the left. Because I am planning to move further to the center, just in case that becomes necessary, and use my range to help out. Now, no one's capped yet. So where's that destroyer? There has to be one. Okay, one of the destroyers is in C. The other one has to be here, unless he's going for B cap. That's always a possibility that they're doing that. But usually you would find them there. He might just be on the slow. Now the Clemson's starting to capture A. I'm detected. That should be the destroyer, because these two battleships can't see me, because they're not yet within my range. So he's somewhere there. I don't want to use my guns yet, because I want to see where that destroyer is first. There's a König and Ichizuchi. And we're not capping, so there he is. Mutsuki. Okay, Mutsuki, not Mutsuki. Mutsuki. Alright, let's wait for him to come around and give him the good news. And it looks like, yep, he got 2 hits in at least. Okay. But he seems to be in a battle with the Clemson, so hopefully he's going to be otherwise occupied. And there's a battleship behind me that can hopefully deal with him a little bit more as well. So, no? Are you going after me? Okay, let me just unload my guns at the König there, and then we can talk. Okay, back to the high explosive. And I do want the rapid reload right now. Yep, that's a nice citadel on the König. I do want the rapid reload right now because I want to... well, I don't have secondaries. See, that's one of the problems. In the New York, this would be a different story, but in this thing, I don't actually have any secondaries to use. So, guns out. Okay, that doesn't kill him, but it does set him on fire. And now I just gotta run from him until I get my guns reloaded. And then I'll help out back there again. Or maybe in the center, because there's a lot of stuff to do. Okay. I mean, you do have one secondary or so that you can get on target, but it's not like... In the New York, the Muski would have been dead already. I would have killed him with secondaries. Okay, come on, turn. Turn. I know what you're doing. Come on. Turn. Yeah, you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, and goodbye. Sorry, it's just always too much fun. Alright, what do we got here? Janwei, Ichizuchi, and another König. Okay, so that's looks like the König is shooting at someone else. Who are we shooting at? Let's concentrate fire. We're shooting at the König? Okay, let's go for the König then. Alright, shots out. And whatever we can with the secondaries. Yeah, you tank a little bit. I don't know, I'm good on health, it's fine. Of course you're shooting at me. Why wouldn't you? Okay. Just watch out for the Janwei there. And let's vary our speed and course a little bit. Just to make sure that we're doing this right. And get some more shots out of the König. Don't get triggered with the rapid reload. I still haven't looked into it. I'll get to that at some point. Probably when I get back to playing the North Carolina. But let's kill that König first. And then we deal with the Ichizuchi there. And the Janwei seems to be buggering off and going after the New York. So you got the König, right? He's on almost no health. So I'm going to start hitting that thing and seeing if I can draw some fire. So maybe our battleship over there survives. Okay, he's going to take a lot of torps, is he? What, no citadels? That's disappointing. But he's not going to live long enough anymore. Looks like our battleship lost that battle over there. So we're on points. We're behind on points, but they've got 2 very, very low health ships. So, again, in the New York, that Ichizuchi would have been dead already because I would have killed him with my secondaries. But not in this thing. Okay, one shot out at that thing. No, the Iron Duke takes him. But there's a König somewhere there. So I'm just gonna head this way and see if we can spot him. There he is. Okay, now I'll take that one. I've already left you the last one. And then we just switch back over to the high explosive because the Janwei is over there. Okay. He's coming my way. He's behind that island. Okay. Now, come on, come on. Okay, rapid reload on, just so I can get the salvo out. And he's turning in. and it looks like he's stopping. Is he stopping? Yeah, it looks like he's stopping. So it just takes 2. But not the greatest accuracy on these guns. Now he's probably got torpedoes away, so I'm just gonna reverse a little bit. There they come. That just looks like 1 spread. Maybe he had only one available. So okay. Now I'm spotted. He isn't. But well, we're ahead on points. So you got to do something, Buster. And we only got 30 seconds left. You're gonna have to sink me if you want to win. Okay, there he comes. Now, can I lob this? No, he's behind the island. Okay, that's probably some more torpedoes in the water. So I'm just gonna move ahead. And are you gonna come out behind that island? Doesn't look like. Okay, so yeah, the Texas. Just a very, very famous ship. And again, if you're a fan of these sort of things, and you just want to play the ship because, well, you know, it's the Texas. Other than that, I personally probably would sail in New York, just because the you do get about 6 plane kills if a carrier focuses you, because the short range AA does a decent amount of damage, it has almost no range. So it's not a game changer, and I'd really rather have the secondary set than not have it. So the difference between 3 and 8 secondary guns is pretty big. So still, it's a good ship, and it's a very pretty ship. And again, if you're a fan of the history of it, definitely worth getting. Captain Trainer, yes, you can use her as a Captain Trainer, because the rapid reload skill is something that you're going to see in the line as well. So that's the Texas. And I don't know if that Lone Star camo is just, you know, named after it, or if that was really a thing. I have no idea. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you all had fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye.